Hi, I'm Phil Curry. I'm a researcher and lecturer at University of Queensland. From 2015 to 2018, I visited Philippines more than 20 times and Vietnam twice for Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research projects. That experience, plus the 45 years or so of my career, allowed me to develop this presentation, which introduces an idea for community development that can be applied in both developing and developed communities. I believe it is an idea that can make a real difference to how individuals within communities in developing and developed countries can collaborate to identify and analyse information and transform it into knowledge that can be used for the betterment of the community. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested to discuss how you and your organisation might become involved, my contact details are provided at the conclusion of this presentation. You've heard the saying about teaching someone to fish and you feed them for life. Well, I think this proposal is that saying on steroids. The idea of this approach evolved from two concepts. They are market orientation and action learning. I first learned about market orientation in my PhD, which investigated the reasons why organisations don't always adopt contemporary marketing practices. I then learned about action learning when completing a graduate certificate in higher education. Action learning is used in industry and in education. I think it has a real role to play in communities also. As you can read for yourself, the aim of this approach is to create the competence and confidence to learn and act collaboratively to achieve continuous beneficial community transformation by collaboratively identifying and solving problems and capturing opportunities as a community. Described simply, market orientation is a part of organisational culture that facilitates three components, being information gathering, sharing it widely within the organisation, and allowing personnel from all departments to have a say in how the organisation should respond to the opportunities and threats identified, so that responses are timely and coordinated. A significant amount of research concludes that by adopting market orientation, organisations will become more successful, and their employees will be happier because they have been involved in decisions and understand the reasons behind those decisions. I believe the same applies in communities, whether they are in developed or developing countries. Action learning is a process of gathering information, using it to develop plans, acting on them, evaluating the consequences, then reflecting on the results to make changes to future actions. It is generally practiced as a cycle of continuous improvement. In action learning, small groups of individuals are formed to solve a specific problem. To solve a problem, groups might seek information from the internet, they might talk to experts, and they may even conduct some experiments. The point is, there is a specific group of people focused on finding alternative solutions to problems and opportunities. When we combine both concepts, we have a model that has small teams of participants, referred to here as a knowledge creation group, from communities focused on specific situations that have been identified by the community as being worthy of an investment in time and resources. They are tasked with gathering information from all and any sources, analysing it and sharing their journey of learning with their communities as it occurs. They are not empowered to make decisions. However, under the guidance and with support from project researchers, they learn how to identify, obtain, qualify and analyse data, suggest experiments such as field trials, and generally facilitate the adoption of ideas based on evidence by the community's decision makers at all levels. They then facilitate the process of monitoring results and reflecting on successes by the community, and this informs behavioural change. I also believe that it is appropriate for people who are engaged in knowledge creation groups are paid for their time, and their roles, including maintaining a family home, are backfilled in some way. However, those are decisions that each community has to make at a community level. The proposition then is to establish small groups of individuals to work on problems or opportunities identified by the community. Communities must identify the areas on which to focus, and of course they can select more than one to work on at a time. The principles underlying market orientation and action learning can be employed in other areas of an organisation or community. The research leadership team will facilitate the establishment of knowledge creation groups who will, with assistance especially in the beginning, collect information, analyse it, conduct experiments which may be field trials, invite specialists into the community to provide advice, visit other communities to learn from them, and anything else that becomes apparent during the process. We will support the groups by helping them to gather and analyse information so that the learning process can provide evidence-based information to the community. We may have to train some of them how to conduct trials when appropriate. We may have to help them learn how to analyse data. We will need to do things that we cannot yet envisage, whatever it takes for them to develop the confidence and competence to become a learning organisation. I'm not proposing that the knowledge creation groups are empowered to make decisions, as this could undermine the well-established decision-making processes within the community. However, by sharing the knowledge gained by the knowledge creation groups widely within the community, just as market orientation organisations share information widely within them, it is expected that the information will inform decisions that are made. Collaborative learning organisations are at the heart of everything we do because they are organisations that continuously transform as a result of constant learning. This is what we want the communities to become. They will be dealing with complex problems that no single actor, organisation or group has the answer to or can deal with alone. Better outcomes will always come from working and learning collaboratively. As I said at the beginning, this is an idea only at present and needs funding to support research to be conducted with communities to develop the models and processes that will engage communities. However, the idea has been developed based on a lifetime of experience of domestic and international projects in developed and developing communities. As you can see from this slide, I'm keen to find one or more donor organisations who will provide funding and, more importantly, share in the learning journey that will occur as we conduct our research. Communities do need to be placed at the centre as experts, and the model outlined in the previous slides clearly achieves that. It also allows the communities to set their own priorities. Communities should be allowed to proceed at the rate that is appropriate for them rather than as dictated by action plans and timelines set by donor organisations or research teams. More importantly, funds do need to be released to the community to allow them to undertake the tasks as and when they see fit and as facilitated by the project leadership team. Thank you for taking the time to look at this presentation. If you or your organisation are in a position to make a contribution to my research or would like to learn more, I would be delighted to hear from you, and my contact details are on this slide.